It's your boy, Minishi. That's a terrible way to start. Anyways, I figured after the unboxing video, I'd just get some gameplay in, and just figured I'd just record over it with my audio. And I'm pretty much going to start from alphabetical order from A to Z, and the first one is Balloon Fight. Just as the thing you see here, I also added the sides. This is the back of the cover, so I'm probably going to make that a thing, if people like it or not. Anyways, me and this game, we have quite a history. We go a few years back. I didn't play it around the NES time. I wasn't born around there. Uh, I came to first play Balloon Fight in the mall. I think it was back in like the mid 2000s or something. And it wasn't like I actually played an official NES, an actual NES. No. At the time, within the mid 2000s, there was a thingamabob called the Super Joy. I think the Super Joypad, the Super Joystick, but it was like a bootleg a Chinese game that was being sold, and it was like a Nintendo 64 controller, just plastic, and alongside it had a daisy chain of a Sega Genesis controller. Anyways, there was a guy who was selling all of these, and it had like 100 games. And the first one I decided to try was Balloon Fight, and my first thoughts was, wow, I don't know. As you can see, my reaction was pretty dimmed. I didn't know what to say because I was pretty like quite the Nintendo little fanboy at the time. But I started playing Balloon Fight, and I don't know what is it, but for the life of me, I started laughing my ass off playing this game. I don't know what was it. It was just the fact that I'd hit the balloons, and then there was that little jingle when the guys are flying down. I don't know. I was laughing my ass off. I was crying. I don't know what it was. It brought me a good time, and I was like the only one playing it there. And there would be times where people would be watching me play Balloon Fight, and suddenly I got the grasp of it. I understood how to play it, despite it being my first time. The NES games aren't really that hard to pick up, unless unless it's adventure games. But that's pretty much how I came to know about the game, was with a Chinese bootleg game that was being sold. That was being sold here in the United States. And I read somewhere that Nintendo had, I guess you could say, reported this to the police, and then they actually arrested these people. As the more I look at this, I seem to realize during the gameplay that some of the characters, well, I'd say the enemies, certain colors seem to have certain patterns with them. I noticed that the green ones seem to be at the top most of the time, and I guess you can say the white balloons, the, I don't know what you really call them. That's something I gotta look into. The fellows with the white balloons, they seem to really target at you, while the green ones just seem to be. Oh wow, he finished them off. uh, as I said, ladies and gentlemen, I'm just recording gameplay, and I pretty much would have called my reaction to that. But as the way things are, probably not very interesting to hear. I'd like to record audio on top of the game at the same time, but oh god, is a little iffy. So I figure we jump into the second round here of the balloon popping. And I've seen many people have trouble with this sort of stage. And I don't know what is it about me really, but back when I was a kid, I could do it perfectly. And I demonstrate here that it's not really that hard. You got to learn to utilize the buttons very well. So as to how the game controls is you press L and R left and right to move, obviously. And the A button, you get to flap your arms once to keep yourself elevated. If you hold the B button, you'll constantly keep flapping. So I noticed that B is really good at keeping you with some sort of momentum, while A is a good option for you to turn quickly, which is why I seem to kind of grasp the idea quickly that you can turn quicker with A and you can keep on going with B. That's a streak right there. And I say that's that certain song in the background. I don't know. There was something about that sound that was just humorous to me when I was playing it back when I was a little kid. It just had me rolling, it had me laughing. I don't know what was it, and I couldn't explain it. What made it worse for me, like what made it worse for me was that I kept on laughing harder. Was that my brother? We also did a two-player mode, and even he was laughing. And I don't know what was it. I was just having a blast with this game. Fond memories. It's something I don't forget. Now you can see that those super joysticks, they seem to be some kind of a unusual thing to come across. I've sort of seen one a few years ago back at a sale, and I purchased one. And I remember back in the back of the Super Joypad. I keep forgetting between the two. It had slot insertions for Famicom games, and I thought for a second that it would have fit NES games. But to my surprise, the odds of you finding yourself a Famicom cartridge here, that would have to be like grown man, 30-year-old grown man having a retro store. But as a rare comedy, Balloon Fight, a simple two-player game. It's as simple as it gets. Could I say it's worth getting on the Virtual Console? $5 if you really have someone else to play with. Of course, $5 you can't really complain for much, but hey, we seem to live in a world where people complain for a $10 game of Super Mario Run, but would have preferred a $3 or probably like a free Mario Run, but try microtransactions. But as things stand, hey, what can you do? The game's still fun as it is. The emulation from the Mini NES is close, just not perfect. I'm bouncing. It's always fun to see the fish gobble up the little birds. I guess they're birdmen. I don't know. I never really looked into it. Most people seem to know Balloon Fight as the game that Satoru Iwata programmed and managed to found the perfect coding that would have good precision. Actually, as I speak about Balloon Fight now, when I attended a convention called Too Many Games, held this the 23rd to the 25th, I believe, of 2016, I came across the original Balloon Fight arcade. And playing it within a few minutes, the precision for the mechanics I've noticed, like the buttons, it's not really on par with the NES, and that's why you don't really hear any mentions of the arcade version of Balloon Fight. One thing that I will say that I am impressed with the arcade version is that you can keep scrolling up and up and up. There's a lot of elevation to it, and that's pretty cool. I mean, that's pretty much the only thing I saw that was unique. But in terms of like trying to like really hit an opponent or like land positionally, the NES just tops it just by that much. Oh, so pretty much I guess I'd figured I'd just do 7-minute videos, and I guess that's pretty much I figured I'd just go on and talk about the history of me and Balloon Fight here. Would I ever go out of my way to, go out and get an official cartridge? I do have an NES though. So, I guess, wow, one time that I actually don't get perfect. And I actually did it on purpose though. And so this was the 7-minute video for Balloon Fight. Didn't mean to be precise there, but let me know if you like the format and if you like the way the game played. Catch you later.